Hi there once again. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. When we admit that we are powerless over alcohol or our addictions, we admit that we don't got control over this no more. We've lost control over our drinking capacity. Um, for me, I lost control at an early age when I with my behavioral problems and ending up in jail. I ended up in jail at the age of 16 in general population for armed robberies, and I was a pretty big rebel rouser when I was just a young kid because I was drinking all the time, and I like to cause excitement when I was drinking, and I like to cause trouble. It was just the behavior, just the role models that I had. But as I got older, I realized that I was getting sick of going to jail for to pay for my drinking habit or for things that I did while I was drinking, and so I kept on going to jail, and I got sick of it, and I got tired of it, and these became some of my rock bottoms. So you will go through experience all these different rock bottoms, like going to the hospital, or you'll lose somebody, you lose your like those old country songs say, your wife and your kids and whatever else, and so a lot of that stuff is true for most individuals that are still lost in alcoholism and the different addictions that plague us. Now we have far more serious addictions to different far more serious synthetic man-made drugs. So we admitted we were powerless over these things, that we can't manage our lives anymore. So if we have a higher power, whether it be God, a great spirit, be Allah or Buddha, whoever your creator is, or your whoever you believe your maker is, whatever your religion is, uh, I would encourage a little bit of spirituality so that you can have someone to talk to, and when you need to talk, to give thanks, or when you're feeling troubled and you want to talk things out and there's no one there, and so a lot of us will talk to a lot of us will First Nation people like me talk to the Great Spirit or your grandfather, which is for you is God or whatever your case may be. But so admitting that we are powerless over our addictions, and we can't do anything about it anymore. We spent all our money. We've lost all the stuff. We lost our home. We lost our car, our mortgage, everything. Nobody wants to be around us no more. Everybody shies away because we're just constantly drunk, constantly drinking, constantly asking for money, constantly going through money, and doing things to get money, doing things that we wouldn't normally do when we're sober. And so we're powerless. Okay, we're powerless. We have no power over this anymore. We have no power over our lives anymore. It's unmanageable. It's chaos. It's chaotic. Everything we're doing now is for our addiction. It's about us. We're ignoring family. We ignore the kids. We ignore everything. Our responsibilities, our jobs, going to work late. So we can't manage ourselves anymore. We need to take we need a higher power, or or help. We definitely need help. Okay, so we have to go to into treatment, or to somewhere where we can find help, some kind of like counseling with people, and to admit these things that I can't do anything. So I need help. So most of us will go to treatment centers or to Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, whichever the case may be, your addiction. But I'm centering on addiction, alcohol addiction, because I'm an alcoholic, and that was my main drug of choice. So don't mind me. I like a large cup of coffee in the morning, and it's morning time, first thing in the morning. So I like a large cup of coffee. I don't like to continuously keep pouring a cup of coffee. I like to just pour it all at once, and it gets a little bit colder that way, but it cools off it, and it's a good cup of coffee throughout the morning is what I'm trying to say, and it's a lot better than alcohol. So there were times like when I woke up in the mornings and and I would drink alcohol just like this, just as I'm drinking coffee, and I would open up beer first thing in the morning. If I had beer, if I didn't have beer, I was grouchy, miserable, and I had an aunt. I had an auntie. She was the same way. She was miserable. You took her beer first thing in the morning. You had hell to pay. So there was always have to have beer in the morning. And sometimes I got that bad for me, but a lot of times I would have to do without because you spend all your money. I spend all my money on booze and alcohol, and if I had anything extra to spend, right? So it was that important to me. So I was powerless, and I had to admit that I couldn't manage myself anymore, and I went into treatment. I went to AA meetings, and a lot of times I came back out and drank again, but the seed was planted. What I mean by the seed was planted is I learned stuff in there that I was able to, I gathered tools while I was in treatment and in the meetings from others that on how to continue my recovery, and so, and what to do during a relapse. And so after a lot of relapses and years of going to jail, I admitted I was powerless. I had a lot of rock bottoms. I was losing control of my addictions. I never had any control anyways, and losing control of myself. And so like I committed a lot of crimes to support my habit, and so that was part of the addiction too, and ended up in jail a lot. And so you get tired of that lifestyle. So I got tired of that lifestyle. I got tired of the drinking, being sick all the time, being, just constantly like with these hangovers and the sick feeling, and you can't do anything. The last time I drank, I only drank for one night, and I was drunk for that one night and into the next morning. But I was so sick for the next 5 days. It was just, and I can't live like that. And that's how I decided that something needs to change. And so once you admit that you're powerless over your addiction, you're powerless over alcohol, and your life has become unmanageable. You can't manage you can't manage yourself anymore. You can't manage your job. You can't manage anything because you're constantly drinking. It's drunk in the morning, drunk in the afternoon, and you always have to have a bottle with you all the time. It's that bad for some people, and sometimes I carried booze with me too. I drank during work when I worked at a casino, when I worked in an art gallery. Sometimes I drank because I'm in a casino, right? So going through all these rock bottoms, admitting that we're powerless, that's one of the first steps to getting sober. And so we've already decided we want to live, and we don't want to poison ourselves anymore. And so we begin to take care of ourselves, and we begin to live a life of sobriety, each day, not a whole lot at once, like one day at a time kind of thing, like as I was explaining in another video. But so you're living sobriety one day at a time. So each day it can be a struggle for some people, but no matter how bad it gets, like you have to change your attitude. So you might have to change your friends. You might have to change the people you're hanging around with, the crowds. You might have to, put a sign on your door that says no drinking anymore. And if your true friends will respect that, the ones that, that see that you're trying to make an effort. And the more that you put into it, the more that people see that you're making an effort in your recovery, and that you really are trying to be sober. And after 1, 2, 3 years go by, it gets to that point where, yeah, you know what? He really is, or she really is, trying to make a difference in her life or his life. So let's have that respect for them. And after a while, you become a role model. After a few years go by and you're being sober, you're able to be a role model to people. So however you're handling yourself in your life, in your addiction and recovery, that's going to reflect on everyone else. And so you can be a positive role model or a negative role model to your people around you. If your family and your loved ones see you overcoming these boundaries and these obstacles, it teaches them also positive life skills. And so we I had to admit to the Great Spirit, it was my higher power. Great Spirit, please take care of me. Please help me from now on. Please take care of me. I can't do this no more. Take my life and manage it the way it's supposed to be. It doesn't have to be a religious thing where you ask, where you ask Jesus into your heart. Nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I don't even believe in that. For me, the Great Spirit, I said, Great Spirit, take care of my life. Help me in a positive way, and help me to see the good in others. Help others to see the good in me, and help me, to manage myself better. Help me to seek help, and help me to find others that'll want to help me, that'll want to work with me, and that's where the treatment centers and spiritual people come in. And so there are also addicted people in addictions programs that will, that've been through the same thing that you have, such as me, that that you can talk to. And there's a lot of coverage when you're first getting sober, and I'll go over these things with you as I go along. And so with that, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I will see you the next session, and I wish everyone a good day and safe, a happy new year. Miigwech Mina. That means thanks again in Ojibwe, in the Schnabbaman.